Only experts, astronauts, and supremely intelligent persons were allowed on board rockets. Civilians were never allowed to visit space, you all know about this. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic was the first company to start international space travel for tourists. By launching its high-speed spacecraft, you all know about this. The second was Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' Blue Origins. Now, SpaceX is the third to do the same. It is owned by Elon Musk. Do you know? Musk is also the owner of car company Tesla. Now there is something really exciting about this. All the space vehicles launched by Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin were manned by the staff on board. However, SpaceX's spacecraft is fully automatic, and the 4 people on board merely enjoy the ride. They have to do nothing as the rocket is fully automatic. This is done for the first time in history. There were 4 people on board the fully automated rocket. They were all general civilians and not astronauts. I am stunned by this. The rocket was 200 feet long and had a speed of approximately 28,000 kilometers an hour. Do you think it would return to Earth after a short time? The rocket would spend 3 days circling the Earth's orbit. They would spend 3 days looking at the Earth's orbit. Isn't that amazing? It was launched on 15th September from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So 4 people are on board the SpaceX rocket that will tour the Earth's orbit for 3 days. You may wonder, what will these people do for 3 days? Won't they get bored sitting idle or floating in zero gravity? Each and every hour of their 3 days in space has been planned with activities. It includes astronomy research, time for pleasure, etc. Isn't that wonderful? If you are wondering whether the rocket has a toilet, well, it does. But the 4 passengers will all have to share one toilet. No showering will be available. And crew will not have beds to sleep in. Instead, they will have to sleep in the same reclining seats they will ride in during the launch. These passengers had to pay for their tickets. The mission was fully funded by one person, and the other 3 passengers boarded the rocket for free. This person was named Jared Isaacman, aged 38. He is the founder of payment processing company Shift4. Similar to PhonePe and Google Pay in India. Isaacman is a billionaire who personally funded the mission and brought the 3 passengers on board. The other 3 people on board the flight were either chosen personally by Isaacman or they were selected through competitions. These 4 individuals then took off in the rocket. How cool is that? Now you may wonder who the other 3 individuals are. Let me tell you. The first person, as I said earlier, is Jared Isaacman, who sponsored the mission. The second person is Hayley Arceneaux, a 29-year-old cancer survivor. She will be the chief medical officer on the flight. Arceneaux is the first person to go to space with a prosthesis, a titanium rod in her left leg. Sian Proctor, 51, was an ex-NASA staff. The last person is Chris Sembroski, aged 42, who was an ex-Air Force officer in the United States. So these were the 4 passengers on board the rocket. The team has worked with SpaceX to train since February. In SpaceX's next trip, which will launch in 2022, passengers will spend an entire week in space as compared to the current 3-day mission. A retired NASA astronaut will escort 3 wealthy businessmen in the upcoming mission. Roscosmos is the state corporation of Russia. It is similar to India's ISRO. Roscosmos will launch a rocket which will have 3 people on board: Russian actress Yulia Peresild, director Klim Shipenko, and a Japanese business tycoon will be on board the flight. The launch is not merely for space tourism. The crew is all set to shoot a movie for the first time in space. Isn't that cool?